the first thing we're going to get into Brian Kelly getting fired by LSU. And I feel like this was inevitable, in my opinion. If I'm spelling your name wrong, Mr. Kelly, my bad. I apologize. But we gotta get into this because I feel like it was inevitable. I didn't really feel like that was a good fit, him going there. Because when you're going to a school like Notre Dame, you're not. It's just the SEC is just different. When you're in Notre Dame independent, they can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They're in their own club. But then when you got to join the big boy club in SEC and you're with LSU, LSU is known for being competitive every year. And don't get me wrong, they were competitive every year under Brian Kelly, but it just felt like they was never going to get over that hump. And it just felt like there was no progress made. Or like, okay, your first 3 years, you lost 2 games. Okay, this year it's like it's a must that you at least lose one, get to the playoffs, and he couldn't even do that in his 3 years there. He didn't have some players. He didn't have players. You know what I'm saying? He had Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thompson. So he didn't have some players, but it could never all come together for him to have like at least a 1-loss season or just an undefeated season or just a 1-loss season. He couldn't do that. He kept losing. They kept underachieving. And eventually the AD and the alumni LSU get tired of it. And they just like, this guy's not a fit. He's probably not a people person. People say that about he's known for not being a people person. So he probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? In that staff, in that facility. So they probably just like, good riddance, get up out of here. And we're cool with paying that buyout. I think his buyout like what, 30, 40 million. That's how you know they got a lot of money at LSU and they're cool with paying a dude 30, 40 million to get to say bye-bye. That's how you know a school got them racks. So LSU, they got so sick and tired of him, they couldn't even wait to the end of the season. They say bye-bye now. We don't want you coming back now. So, and that's on Brian Kelly, man. I just feel like they couldn't ever get over that hump. And when you're in the SEC, which is very competitive, you have to show progress, especially at LSU, bro. LSU should always compete for national championships. Even though you look at their history, the last season they were really competitive was the 2019 season. If you look past that, 2011. So we can say all we want. LSU hasn't really been that competitive, to be honest with you, since the 2019 season, and before that was 8 years, the 2011 season. So I know a lot of people. I know that's the culture of LSU and being the SEC. You expect them to win, but they really haven't had a winning culture in a long, long time. And even when they did win, you look at the time they won before that, it was a minute too. So I don't know where LSU can go next. I know people saying Lane Kiffin. I don't think he's going to stay go. I know people saying Dion not going there, bro. He gotta show that he can win at Colorado before he goes to the big boys club. I hear a lot of people saying Dan Lanning. I think he's gonna stay at Oregon when you're still in a competitive conference in the Big Ten. So it doesn't make sense to go to the SEC when in reality the Big Ten, the SEC really just based on the last couple of years, they're really on the same level. So I don't really know who you can bring in that understands LSU, understands that culture, that has a history of success, of showing that he has the potential to be a great coach. I don't see that guy unless you bring somebody in with some experience. You gonna call Nick Saban back and say, you want to come back? You know what I'm saying? Last time we saw Nick Saban, he won a national championship at LSU before he went to Miami. Player to go to NFL, to go to Miami Dolphins. So it just depends on who they bring. I just hope they bring in somebody that understands the culture, understands that nature at LSU in Louisiana, and they can bring back a winning culture. I don't think LSU. I'm not saying they're gonna bring somebody that can win championships off the rip or in 2 years, but somebody that has you competitive playing in the playoffs. Okay, it doesn't make sense. LSU should be in the playoffs every year, just like people expect Alabama and Georgia to be in the playoffs. LSU should be that team always we see in the playoffs. They should just every year, annually, they should yearly, they should be in the playoffs, bro. Yearly, they should be in the playoffs yearly, year after year after year after year. You should see them in the playoffs. It's just be a natural thing. Every time playoff season comes, they're in the playoff, and when we don't see that, it's like, what the hell? Why LSU not playing as well? Why they losing to this team? Why they losing to that team? And that's what they got to deal with. They just got to play better. And if they do that, I think LSU, like I said, whoever they bring in, if they do that, I think they should be straight. That they can convince Dan Lanning to leave Oregon to come there, that'll be a great thing because I think he can change the program around and they'll be very competitive. Because if you can make Oregon competitive, he can go to the SEC. Like I said, Big Ten and SEC is no difference, bro. It's no difference. We just watched Ohio State win the national championship, and they played against Texas and Tennessee and mollywopped them. So don't give me that. No, people don't care about that, bro. As long as you can play, you can play. Before Washington even went to the Big Ten, I watched Michael Penix Jr. demolish Texas in the All-State Sugar Bowl. So that don't mean nothing, bro. I think that the Big Ten, the SEC, they on the same level. Depending on who you ask, they might tell you they like the SEC better or they like the Big Ten better. Me personally, I'm an SEC boy because I'm from the South. But the Big Ten, they not. They either, if you want to say SEC is an inch better or they're the same level, you wouldn't be wrong. So that's how I look at that. But I just think Brian Kelly, his recruiting wasn't wrong. I just thought they couldn't bring it all together to be a competitive team. You know what I'm saying? LSU, they expect to win national championship or compete for national championship. So when you don't get there, it's championship or bust every year for LSU. It just is because they have a culture, or they think they have a culture of winning. You know what I'm saying? I wish some of the fans would be more realistic. The fact that you really haven't won nothing since Joe Burrow, and the time before that is when Tyrann Matthews was there. So hope you know what I'm saying, humble yourself a little bit. But at the same time, you can't tell the fans how to feel, bro. And it just shows you, for them to just say good riddance to a dude that's, you look at his record, really you winning 8, you winning 9 to 10 games a season with the dude his last 3 years, and you say good riddance. It just shows you the writing was on the wall, and they just got tired of him, and they was ready to just pull that plug on him. So it is what it is. Brian Kelly probably is gonna get another job. He's a good coach. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised he goes to Virginia Tech, like it's Vol Tech. That job gonna be open. I don't see him going to no SEC team. It don't make sense to you go to LSU, you leave, get fired from LSU. Now you're going to Auburn. Nah, I don't see that. I think we'll probably see him in a Mountain West school, a school like the Mountain West, ACC, one of those schools that probably have a job opening. And you're gonna be straight, bro. Or if I'm him, bro, just be on TV, be an analyst, bro. You know what I'm saying? Be an analyst, be a commentator. Do that. That's what I think he should do. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot about football. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart guy. So I can see him on TV, CBS, ESPN, Fox. It don't really matter, bro. I think he'll do good on TV. So that's my point. That's my thoughts on that.